All right. Well, then we'll get it started. It is 7:04 p.m. on Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. So we will have the Board of Metropolitan Police Commission. Call to order. Eric Nichols is here. Next commissioner. Kevin Foley's here. Looks like John Nixon's here.
John, I think you're muted still.
I think he double clicked and remuted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Gotcha. That's all right. So we have 3 commissioners constituting a quorum. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Minutes, the meeting agenda. So I would entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda as presented unless somebody has modifications.
I'll go ahead and second.
We need a first.
Or, well, first, sorry.
Okay. And I would second the motion.
Kevin first, John second. All in favor signify by saying aye. We'll roll call. John Nixon.
Aye.
Kevin Foley.
Aye.
And Eric Nichols is aye. Minutes from prior meeting. I don't think I saw those. Did those go out, Chief?
I may have. I think I missed getting those out to you. I apologize.
Okay.
I'll get those sent over tomorrow.
Yeah, we can bump that to January for
All right.
approval of that. It was a short meeting, so I can't imagine there will be much there. Glenn, do we have anybody in from the public to speak? Looks like nobody.
Sorry, we do not know. There's nobody requesting to speak and nobody in the waiting room either.
Okay. Normally we would have Boone County Communications, but I don't see anybody from the Boone County Sheriff's Department with us tonight. So that carries us on to you, Chief.
Okay, good evening, commissioners. For November's monthly report, you should have received an updated version of that this morning from me that included the stats. We were waiting until the first to hit so we could pull those stats for the month. As you know, we are now in the police headquarters and we are fully functional. We started background our process for the new hires is now, we're shooting for 5 new hires. We had 94 applicants and 35 of which showed up for the physical agility. That's since been cut down after the physical agility written test, and we just recently, 2 weeks ago, conducted interviews with those applicants. I'm not going to give a number on how many we have left, but investigations is starting the background investigation process of that starting next week. So they will be extremely busy. We're continuing to practice COVID precautions by calling when we can on non-emergency calls. Obviously, our people are wearing their masks like they're supposed to, and I recently shut down the police department for walk-ins. People will have to call and make an appointment to come. Moving on to number 4 on the monthly reports. The general order review board is complete. And Eric, if you want to speak more on that, but basically it was 5 of our officers along with Commissioner Nichols, and no major changes are needed amongst the general orders. Some few verbiage issues that they located. So we're reviewing those and can make those changes as needed. Anything to add to that?
No, I think that hits it. We ran through it all. It was a great team of all of us working together through that. Kudos to the officers that were on there. They were, I thought going in with my attorney background, I'd be the most picky, and to their credit, they were catching everything. So everything that we didn't find any major issues or any biases in there, but found places we could clean it up and make it even better. So.
Good deal. Well, that was something that the council had asked for us to conduct a review, I think back in June. So that review has been going on since then. So that'll be going to them next week in the council meeting. Hi, Susan.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Susan.
Pardon my lateness.
No worries. You have not missed much. I'm just on the monthly report, and we are back down to the community involvement section of that. Just got done discussing the general order review committee and how that looked good on our end. So both our K-9 officers traveled to Bartholomew County for a ceremony. They had a K-9 that was killed in the line of duty recently, so both of them went down to that. And our hearts go out to Bartholomew County. Birthday parades, we continue to do those as we are called upon to do those. I think we only did one in November. Monthly stats, 20 arrest reports, 66 case reports. That 66 number is back to where we were pre-COVID, essentially, with that many case reports. October saw roughly the same amount. They had been down for several months prior to that. So we're kind of right back there where we used to be as far as the officers keeping plenty busy. Reserve hours are down slightly. That's due to one of them being out for an extended amount, could not work for some personal reasons. So that number is 139 hours that reserves volunteered last month.
Still, my hat's off to them. I mean, that's
still a lot
202
of
in
hours.
October, 139 in November. That put us over 1,500 for year to date. I mean, that is awesome for the reserves.
A lot of hours, and that's helping us a lot since we're short on manpower right now with 4 per shift. So
Yeah, that's almost a full-time employee in the number of
Yeah.
hours that they've put in.
Yeah, that's
So
very
we really
appreciated.
appreciate it.
Investigations division continues to be busy. They had roughly, they had 30 cases last month. The vast majority of those are crimes against property. So they're going to be very busy once they start their backgrounds next week on top of all of that. We continue to train with Lexipol. K-9, obviously, they have to get their hours in, and they go above and beyond every month with their minimums for hours. And the department conducted a department-wide use of force training that we all did online. And we sent 2 supervisors to a 3-day leadership course last month as well.
Chief, just to touch back on the reserves, did any of the reserves that we currently have, which I assume they probably did they apply for our department for position?
One did, yes.
Okay.
Yep. The others, I don't think they would ever. They have other full-time jobs. They don't want to get into this for the long haul.
Okay.
And that is all I have on the monthly report. Any questions about that at all? Okay. Moving on to old business. I have item A, review and approve the new building invoices. And there are 2 different forms for that. One is an 11-page form, and that has the complete breakdown. There's also a form that kind of crunches it all into 1 page, supplied by the owner's rep. And essentially, 3.179 million was the construction cost to begin with on the building. On that 11-pager, you'll see that number was actually 3.279. And that is where the builder stepped up and actually donated that $100,000 so we wouldn't see that on our end of things. This is our final invoice for the building, and which includes The RQAW of 410515, the GM Development, that's our owner's rep, his last 5,000 of the 75,000 that we owed him. It also includes 40,000 in asphalt proceeds for the parking lot, which the town, I believe the street department's gonna pay for that. I talked to Jason today. I think they're gonna use, I don't know what fund they're using, but that is taken care of. And then the department owes 9,040 and 11 cents for signage proceeds, which I had already set that money, well, actually Dennis set that money aside last year in the CCD fund. So happy to report that under budget for the building is right at $68,000.
Good job.
Well done.
Does that mean that the elevator is operational?
The elevator has not been installed yet. This price does include the elevator, and they were actually supposed to start on Monday, and apparently they had a big outbreak amongst their employees of COVID. So we are at least 2 weeks behind on that, and it's a month process to install. So we're at least getting into January now with the entire install of the elevator. But we've already moved everything, so it's not like we're hurting for it. It's just going to be a pain when they actually come in here. Most of the work they're going to be doing is going to be upstairs out of our way. So it is what it is.
Yeah. But nice job on that budget.
Excellent job on the budget.
Mhm.
We've tried to keep our finger on it the entire time. I think we did a pretty good job overall, and not having to come back to anybody asking for or begging for more money. And that was the goal going into it.
And I love the builder. I mean, that was awfully nice.
The builder has been phenomenal to work with. I know they threw in an extra restroom that we weren't supposed to have. At one point, I wanted to go cheap on the locker room walls, and they wouldn't let me. And they saw our building as a showcase for them, so they said that they would just eat that cost, and they actually did that throughout the project. So I think they were feeling bad that things were delayed. I don't believe very few of those problems were on them. It was more of a issue with getting material in. But you know, they're trying to keep us happy. So
That was a great job.
So in terms of the elevators included in this 3.27982821,
it is.
so Mr. Alex, are we good to go ahead and authorize the issuance of this subject to the finalization of that, or what would you recommend?
Exactly what you said, Susan. That will work just fine.
Okay. Do we have any other discussion about the invoices? Okay, then if not, I've got them pulled up here. If you guys don't, I'll go through and do them. I'd make the motion that we approve, subject to the final installation and inspection of the elevator, $3,279,828.21 to the builder who is Graber. The RQAW invoice of $4,105.15, and the GM Development invoice of $5,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Can you see me?
Oh, we can see everybody. That's 4-0, unanimous passing. Good job, Scott.
Thank
Got a
you.
meeting crasher back there.
Which one?
The orange one.
All right,
Yeah.
under new business, item A, we've actually already discussed, which was the general order committee review. And I didn't realize that was also on my monthly report. I put that on there so the council would see it, and it would just cover us as far as the council goes. So if there's anything else to talk about, if not, we'll just move on to item B.
No, go on. Thank you. You guys did exactly what council asked, and we really appreciate it.
Perfect. As you all know, the last few months, we have donated a vehicle to Advance and one to the prosecutor's office. That was 2 of the 6 that we had of surplus Tahoes. So at this point, items B and C, well, we'll just do B first. I'd like to send 2 to the auction, and you should have that paperwork in front of you, and I'm actually trying to pull it up now. It just lists one's a 2010 Chevy Tahoe with 112,000 miles. The other is a 2012 with 118,000 miles. We can't use them anymore. No one else has reached out requesting anything. So at this point, I think we just run them through the auction and let that go back to the general fund.
Scotty, do you need a motion for that?
Yes, sir.
Then I would make a motion that we send those 2 cars to auction and let the dollars revert back to general fund.
Do we have a second?
Second?
And all in favor? Is there any more other discussion? Alex, we're all good with that motion?
You are. Chief and I talked about the fact that we don't know the exact date of the auction, but that's fine. I mean, he and I will work together to put the proper notice out with the date and so forth. Really just looking for the commission to approve running those through the auction, which is what the motion does.
So all in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion again carries 4-0. Jody, is that helpful to you without having to call roll call? Good.
Thank you, commissioners. Item C is the final 2 Chevy Tahoes, and we had a request from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. They are getting low on vehicles out there, and this is what's used for the new cadets that come in to train. We haven't sent any vehicles to the academy in a number of years. And so what they would like to do is actually give us $225 credit hours per vehicle, which is $550. To put that in perspective, when we go out and train for a day at the academy and utilize the track, that costs us roughly 20 credits. So this is a lot of credit hours.
It's a lot of credit.
Yeah. So we don't go out and use the range, although that's another option, and they have other things that we can do with the academy. Mostly what we use it for is the track, which now knowing that, we can do this more than just once a year if needed, or send someone down for remedial training, that type of thing. So at this point, the final 2 remaining ones with this resolution, I would just ask that we move forward with that. It'll probably be a while before they sign off on their end of things. They recently shut down the academy for the next class. So we got to wait on the law enforcement training board to meet before they get a hold of this and actually sign off on it. So I think we'll still sit on the vehicles for a little bit, but at least we can get this checked off.
Do we have a motion from the police commission to send the 2 vehicles to ILEA?
I make a motion, we move forward with donating the 2 surplus Chevy Tahoes to the ILEA.
Do we have a second?
Second.
John, second. Any further discussion? Then all in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion again carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. And the final item would be the encumbrances for 2021. So last year we had a very healthy, well, in all of last year we saved up in preparation for the building, and that money was re-encumbered to go into our CCD improvement fund. There's also several items under the capital outlay funds as well, but we've kind of been hesitant to spend those dollars this year without that final invoice coming in with the building. So rather than seeing that go to waste on our side, I put a list together of encumbrances. A lot of these are for the building. For instance, there's a simulator on there. It's a use of force simulator that we can move anywhere throughout the building, and we can train on that daily or weekly, bi-weekly, however we see fit. If we have an officer that needs some remedial training, we can bring them in, and we can train up probably all the supervisors so they can kind of do that on their own, and it's just not one or two people that know how to utilize that equipment. I will be bringing that to you hopefully in January, but this is just to put the money there in preparation for that. I had Ed Savage pull together our yearly licensing fees for all of our software equipment, and that's roughly $64,000. So knowing that we usually add to that as well, I threw $70,000 on there for that, and that kind of helps us out budget-wise if something comes up or if we need to add on. So capital outlays, we had money left over in the TASER funds, which is Axon. So Axon is our TASER, our in-car, and our body cam. We'll be adding to each of those with the new hires, plus the yearly. Most of those are anywhere from a 3 to 5 year lease, and we're coming back and adding on to a lease every time we have to buy more. So just throwing a little to give us a buffer there. We're still furnishing the building, so that $16,000 will probably be less by the time the year end rolls around, but I went ahead and put it all in there because we're still waiting on a few things to get billed for. License plate readers are another big ticket item, computers and scanners, uniforms and such. We are now doing weekly building cleaning here at the department. That wasn't budgeted for this year, so we threw that in. Obviously, we're always buying ammo, and I'd like to start getting some tools in the Sally Port. We haven't done that yet, and I'm actually hoping to go here this week, quite honestly, because we need to get a few things. And then just a buffer for a fuel budget in case fuel decides to bump back up, which it probably will next year, to help support that budget line. I threw $30,000. This is roughly $292,000 left over that's in those capital outlays and CCD fund. So that's basically what I'm looking at. So any questions about any of those items?
I appreciate how frugal and careful you guys have been with spending this year, knowing that we didn't know what was going to happen next year and the year after, as well as how you've prepared yourself for the additional hires by being really careful with your budget. Scott, your department has done an excellent job watching every penny this year. And I know I can see items that are much needed and already being accounted for next year with this year's funds. And I know that all of the taxpayers appreciate when you're being this careful with their hard-earned dollars, especially after a year like this. So I say thank you. And I know that my constituents would say thank you too. So thank you so much. Do we have any other discussion about this? Any questions? Do we have a motion to approve the encumbrances to push forward to the council?
I make a motion that we push forward these encumbrances to the council as laid out by the chief.
Do we have a second?
I would second that.
Okay, and all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion again carries 4-0. Scott, again, thank you so much. That is very impressive.
Oh, thank you. That'll
That's a lot of money.
set us up next year in a lot of ways that, things that we want to really see happen. So that gives us a really good start on that. So with that, I have nothing in other business, and we are scheduled for the next police commission meeting, not on January 5th of 2021. So finally get done with this year. I have nothing else to add unless anyone has any other questions.
Thank you for a great year. Thank you. Please send our thanks to all of the officers and all of the staff for making this year be as easy as it was with all things considered. And please wish them all the happiest of holidays from us.
Really amazing what all was accomplished given the headwinds this year.
No kidding. It is most impressive.
It is. There's a number of these that you're getting to the end of the year and looking at what was accomplished and you go, goodness gracious, how did we manage that?
It was a pretty tough year.
So good job. And my apologies for being late. No, I'm not a techie.
I was just glad it was reversed this time.
Yeah.
Usually it's me. You're calling me.
So with that said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by showing your right hand. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you after the first of the year. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thank
Bye, guys.
you. Bye.
See ya.